Hey guys, welcome back to our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have had an awesome time with this podcast. We are on episode 2, so thank you so much for tuning back in. Thank you for telling all of your friends. Make sure that you subscribe if you are watching us on YouTube. If you are listening to us on podcasts, we are available on Podbean, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, all the major platforms. So make sure that you guys go and subscribe so that you can be the first to be notified when we have a new episode. We will record bi-weekly, so we will be back in 2 weeks. We have had so much great feedback on our first show, right?
So much
all kind of feedback from the way that we talk, our hand motions, the things that we were talking about, topics. Thank you so much for every person who reached out to us individually and gave us positive feedback, even some negative feedback, which we don't take as negative, but we appreciate it. But we need it because we're just figuring it out. Yes. So thank you so much. And I just hope that you guys stay tuned. Make sure that you subscribe, leave a comment, share, send it to 5,000 people, everybody in your contacts.
The masses.
But even if you don't, I'm so thankful for all of the people who have watched and listened thus far. We have over 500 subscribers on or views on YouTube, which is awesome for a new podcast. So thank you so much. It would not be possible, without you guys. So that's first order of business. Second order of business is we didn't get to say last time, but if you can't notice, we are recording in a small studio. It's actually at a small coffee shop. In Garland, Texas. It's called Pink Coffee. It's a very, very cute restaurant and bakery, coffee shop.
Everything.
Super affordable, but it's also super, super cute. And so we just want to give them a shout out for allowing us to use their space and record. Soon we'll have our own recording space, but for right now, we just want to make sure that we always pub the people who are with us in the beginning. So thank you so much, Pink Coffee. We will tag their information on our Instagram or on our story or wherever.
Our YouTube.
Yeah, so that you guys can come check them out. Come give them some business. That is what we are about. That's part of our platform, is connecting with other businesses and entrepreneurs and things like that. So thank you, Pink Coffee, for allowing us this space and this time to get together and let y'all know what we're pressed about.
One more quick shout out. Shout out to Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs, let's go.
Going to the Super Bowl. They just beat Tennessee.
Yikes.
So to follow that shout out, we are going to dive into Sip and Spiel. As you guys know, for those who are back with us again, Sip and Spiel is our first segment, how we intro our show. We will answer any questions, discuss any topics that you guys throw at us, or any current events. We ask for everybody to just DM us, text us, email us, everything you want to know, everything you want to talk about. And of course, we have to narrow in on that sip part. So what are we drinking today?
We are drinking Stella Rosa Black, which I know is a lot of people's favorites. So Stella Rosa Black, if you have not tried this, head on over to the grocery store,
Stella
the gas station. Right.
Yeah.
Anywhere, you can really grab this anywhere. It's super good if you like sweet red wines.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to the first question.
I get so nervous.
I didn't even mix it up.
About to say that. I was going to say I get so nervous with these questions, y'all.
No mixing. Just grab
I didn't
one
mix it up. I just grabbed it. So let's see what we got.
You just can't be trusted.
Oh, Lord.
Jesus. Come on. Let's go.
Okay. So how long do you wait to have sex?
Excuse me?
After the first date? ? So that's how the question went. Okay. So personally, I literally think that this is your business. Like, me personally. Look, I'm to each its own, technically, because it's your body and it's your mind, and whatever you choose to do with it, that's for you and yours. But me personally, probably not the first date. You don't really know someone in the first date. You don't know what they're about. You just don't know. And in this world and society, I think you just need to know. So I personally vote not the first date. And I do not have a algebraic equation as to how
it's between you and the Lord.
You and the Lord and your mate. Just yes. Serious. Okay. Anybody else? Does anybody else have a view on that? Because save me, I'm drowning.
I'm just saying, like, sometimes, what about those people or those individuals who meet and instantly have a connection? Like, some people don't have to wait.
It happens
as long as other people do.
Where's my glass? I mean, where is my glass?
Where's my wine?
Okay, I think I agree with that. I think sometimes to each its own. I think that sometimes there's a connection. I think that sometimes, let's be real, alcohol is involved. That changes up the scenery and the minds and the thoughts. And
I think that has even more so, like, you need to second guess about if you should even have sex with a person that you are not in a committed relationship with. Yes, I mean, my opinion would be to wait till marriage, but I know that doesn't always happen, even in personal situations. So the thing about it is that you have to decide what's important to you, whether if it's the physical aspect of giving into your flesh and like just the sex part of it, or is this a person you really want to get to know? Because if it's a person that you really want to get to know, I really wouldn't suggest it, sis, that you go that route, because and waiting is not even necessarily worth it just because it is worth it, but it provides clarity. Like you can't, like when sex becomes involved, people's emotions start to change, their values start to change, your values might change if you start having sex with somebody, something you would never do or never allow to happen. Now your flesh is involved and your mind is all mixed up with emotions, and y'all, all you're thinking about is sex. Exactly.
Tasha, what was that move? What was that?
All that. Your emotions and stuff are moving, and so you are no longer having conversations, deep, meaningful conversations that are probably really good for the relationship, or if this is a person you really want to connect with. Now all you're thinking about is when's the next time we're gonna, have a couple of activities. So that's my personal opinion. Like she said, we don't have a number. We don't know how many days. That is between you, your body, your conscience, and the Lord. But those are my thoughts on it at this point.
It was a calculated question. Right. So, taking out the whole, if you're drunk thing, taking out like, oh, you have this crazy connection, calculated, like speaking from a calculated perspective, I think that the first date, no. For me personally.
Yes. To answer the question. Yeah. Absolutely not.
Question. Okay. I think that was good.
That was a little stressful.
Y'all did a great job answering. I don't even need to touch on it. You guys have done a great job.
Thank you, sweetie. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you.
Let's move forward.
Okay. Y'all filled in all the gaps.
Right. You guys have filled in all the gaps. I don't think there's any more room for me.
Okay.
Well, since you have nothing to say, why don't you go ahead and tell us what this topic is today so we can move forward?
Gladly. So kind of touching on, when's the right time to have sex, since I didn't answer that. It's really a little tricky. So that kind of brings us to our first topic of today, which is going to be triggered. So I wanted to give you guys the definition of trigger. Triggers are anything that reminds someone of previous trauma. To be triggered is to have an intense emotional or physical reaction, such as a panic attack after encountering a trigger. So what we kind of did this week is we reached out to our Instagram followers and asked them to kind of give us some insight of what are triggers for them and what they were. So some of them said excuses, embarrassment, manipulation, lying. For me, a trigger for mine is someone that is always negative. Like, they never see the goodness in people. They don't see the goodness in situations.
All the vibes.
It's like they're like super, super negative, and it's like something that can be so positive, they want to drag it down.
Because there's nothing that you can talk to them about. Like, they don't want to hear anything that you have to say.
Correct. It's like you can't even connect with them because it's like, out their mouth, they're going to be like, well, a crowded argument. Like, well, is it really like, and it's like, almost cussed.
She's triggered right now.
Right, she got you hot.
Only because I'm such like a compassionate person. So like when I'm trying to have a conversation with someone, I actually just got in an argument with Spike today at brunch.
Ooh, shout out to Spike though. We love
That's
him.
my best friend. I love you, Spike, so much. But I gotta blast you real quick. We were at
Spike will trigger you.
He is a trigger.
He is the trigger.
He does a good job at asking questions to get underneath your skin.
Listen, y'all. Listen. Everybody that knows Spike and knows our relationship, he triggers me every single day. So we were at brunch today. We were having a conversation, and I was trying to explain to Spike, like, you don't understand stupid. He was like, well, I don't think it costs anything to be smart. I said, First and foremost, you have to have resources in order to be smart. You just don't come out the womb being smart, or everybody would have a degree. Everybody would be successful. And Spike was like, well, you need to come with me being smart. I said, Spike, if people come to you with an idea, an opinion, a thought, like once it starts coming to your head that it doesn't make sense, you instantly shut them down and instantly show to them that you're not interested. portray them to be stupid and shows that you are smarter than them. So what it does for them is shuts them down, makes them be defensive, and lets know that it's not a safe place for them to express what they feel. It may not be factual, but it's like how they felt in that moment. And Spike, I love you dearly, but 2020, we working on you. You know what I'm saying? Showing compassion and get that negativity out your heart, baby. I love you. Okay, you Tosh? Sorry, I love you, Spike.
No, I think that that is a trigger. I mean,
it really is.
It really is.
Like you're just so negative. Like, get your stuff together.
It kind of makes you not want to be around people though. That are like that. You know?
Yeah. Not Spike. We're not talking about Spike.
No,
we're not talking about Spike. I'm not talking about Spike.
Because that
it's
was
like constant negativity.
Correct.
Like you know, I can't bring them around for certain things, or I can't have them there because they're just gonna give off a bad energy.
Like people that aren't like genuinely happy for like your accomplishments. Like you can't even bring it to them because it's like, oh my gosh, I just got this promotion at work. Like, oh well, yeah, you have been there for 3 years. I mean, it was about time you get it. I mean, you did do X, Y, and Z. Like, God dang, can I get this promotion? Can we?
Never mind.
To praise me, I did show up to work. Okay.
Right.
I'm getting triggered. I need my wine.
Okay. Seriously,
what you got? What you got?
Hold back the trigger.
Right.
Okay, don't pull the trigger.
Click clap.
Don't pull it. Don't pull
pull
it,
the trigger.
sweetie.
Now that's another thing. Is how do you not pull the trigger when you are triggered? But anyway, per the definition, I love the fact that they put in there past trauma, that triggers are from past trauma, because most of the time when you're triggered, it's because you've had some past issue, emotion, or whatever, and that thing is giving you PTSD and you're about to snap. And sometimes triggers don't always mean that you're going to snap. Sometimes triggers are a shutdown, you know, because I think I'm kind of half and half. I don't really snap on people. I've never cussed anybody out, like a full cuss out in my whole entire life. But I will shut down instantly if I'm triggered. And so one of my triggers has to do with people who don't know how to take your intention or take your heart or your character into consideration when you do or say things. Like, for instance, if somebody was to say something about me to another person and then that came back to me and that other person never took the time to consider who I am, how I've treated them in the past, the things that are important to me, things like that, and they just went ahead and went with whatever they heard or whatever, like that triggers me, because there is no amount of defending myself, especially if I'm not around. But even if I am around, you know, and this is an engaging conversation that when I'm having with somebody, there's no amount of defending myself if somebody has a notion about you. Like if they already think that you're stuck up, which a lot of people say that about me, which is so not true.
Same.
But if I spend all my time being triggered about that, it does trigger me, because I'm like, then I spend my time backpedaling, like, oh my gosh, no, I don't mean that. I didn't do, you know, and then that just creates more anxiety for me. And so I just don't like that. I have past trauma from that. I've lost friendships and relationships based on just somebody not considering my character and not listening to my heart. And so I think that is probably one of the biggest triggers for me, and one of my biggest shutdowns as well.
But I think especially for friends and people, not even friends, just people that know you, I'm counting on you as a person, as a human being, to consider my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of the things that I'm counting on you to do as a friend, because friends and the people that you're around the most, those are the people that get those snappy moments. Those are the people that get, you know, those reactions, or they're around you when you're going through different things.
So don't let
in your
me
life.
trigger you.
Yeah,
basically, too.
To judge
that's hard,
me,
but
or to put me in a box, and then you're going and sharing those things or those opinions with other people, or because this happened in this moment with us, you're not able to now take up for me anymore because you've put me in this box, or you've tagged that onto my character.
And
you know?
Again, there's no amount of defending you can do about your character when somebody and so that just gives you like even just talking about it right now is kind of
getting you upset.
That's my feathers a little bit, you know. And I always wear feathers.
Don't let them do it to you.
No, but seriously, that's one of my triggers.
I think that's all of us. Like we, all four of us, I can speak for saying that we really do care about our character and how people perceive us. And it's like, for real, no matter what we do, of course you genuinely think that, oh yes, I'm a great person, but it's like, there comes a point in time where you got to relinquish control and allowing people to have control over what they say about you. Because at the end of the day, if you're really my friend, you know who I am.
You know who I am.
And the people that you're telling it to have no idea who I am.
For sure.
And I can't care that much about that. You know what I'm
can't defend yourself. You can't defend yourself to everybody.
In every room.
In every place.
Everybody's not going to like you.
Yeah.
No.
And then sometimes you just, look, it's real easy. I don't care. You know.
I don't care.
I'm sorry.
I don't care.
I just don't.
I don't care.
Energy.
I don't
protect
care.
your energy.
Protect your peace. Like, I think all of those have everything to do with protecting your peace, you know?
Yeah.
Somebody being negative,
sure.
somebody demolishing your character, and you're not having to, you know, you don't have the opportunity to rebuild yourself or rebrand yourself because they've already put so much negativity behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
You have to be so solid in who you are and, you know, so mentally engaged with who you are as a person to be able to just not let that affect you and how you move forward.
You got to do it continuously, though, because
yeah.
like the world we live in, I feel like everybody wants to be positive and everybody strives to be positive, but the world we live in is very negative. So it's so easy to do that.
Yes,
you know?
for sure.
I think,
So my trigger is when people say they're going to do things and they don't do them. So like...
Tasha said,
let me catch myself.
So let me catch my breath. So like basically, if you tell me that you're going to do something and you don't do it, most likely I'm counting on you to do that thing. Absolutely. It might not have been a detrimental thing. It could have been a detrimental thing. It could have not been a detrimental thing. But it still was a thing that I counted on you to do. So it could be as small as going get me some peanuts from the grocery store, which I don't even eat peanuts. So I don't know why I said that. But it could be that simple. Or it could be you said you were going to bring me my car because my car was in the shop and now I don't have a ride from work and now I'm screwed, you know? So I think that there's just a mini conversation that could go on, but a lot of times people are so afraid to tell you that they can't do what they've promised you, you know, or that, you know, they're so afraid of your reaction or what you're going to think of them that they just don't tell you. And they don't understand that affects the situation even worse. Now I can't make accommodations. I would love for everybody and I've done it before, you know what I mean? I've been scared to tell maybe Tosha like, oh crap, I told Tasha I was going to do this. I'm going to just try to like not tell her that I can't do it and try to just escape my way out of it, you know. But really, I inconvenienced her in that moment when I didn't just let her know, you know, that I could not do that. I did not have the capacity. I could not make it or whatever it was. And she could have just fixed it. She could have asked Gabi to do the exact same thing and it would have been fine. And she would have been understanding because she's my friend. So I think that's my trigger. When people say they're going to, and I've seen my friends get stood up for dates by dudes, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Is that a thing?
That's a thing. When I tell you that's a thing,
oh no,
oh girl, and when I tell you trigger,
that doesn't even compute.
But y'all, it's not just dudes standing girls up. Right. It's girls standing boys up. We're just a lot more slick with it. Okay, girls are just a lot more slick with it. We come to the table with our cards.
You rephrase it.
Look. We say we're gonna do something, and then we try to skate our way out instead of just letting somebody know, hey, I can't do this because of X, Y, Z, or hey, I don't want to do this, which I think might bring us over to Avina's trigger.
My trigger, the easiest way to make me mad or for me to second guess our friendship, relationship, whatever you want it to be.
Whatever.
I'm really big about communication. Yeah. And I think that stems from just growing up with my dad and then my dad kind of falling out of my life later on, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even more so my dad was a very hardcore man. He didn't, you know, he was never I love you or I want you to do this or I want you to do that. Mm-hmm. So for me, I constantly need communication. And communication was, even though it was his strong suit, his downfall was not being as positive as I wanted him to be.
Positive and compassionate.
Yeah. So positive communication is a big thing for me. Yeah. But my biggest trigger is little to no communication or bad communication. That's the easiest way.
It literally takes her off the edge.
This is the edge.
But it's funny because she sucks at texting.
I do suck at texting. I will say
she's
that.
the worst.
I'm the worst texter, but I will. You already know that. I don't want to take the time to text you. If I have something and I have two, I'm gonna call you.
You will.
Just let me. And if you don't answer, I'm probably gonna call you 3 more times until you do.
I'm gonna call you. We're gonna get it done.
And then if I'm upset, guess what? You will not see my name come across your phone ever again. You know,
because you tried it.
And that's just it, you know. And I don't know why. I feel like it's so small and it's something that I could work on. But I think that communication as a whole in my life it's so strong for me. it stands out to me, you don't even have to, like, just tell me what it is, or tell me you're going to do something and then actually do it, or tell me we can't talk right now and then you'll talk to me later. Or just even my family too, you know, like my family, they don't, I think that's probably why I suck at texting too. They suck at texting. So we always call each other.
Yeah,
so
callers.
I just need
I'm
communication.
a caller. I call people.
You are a caller.
I am a caller. I am not going to text you nothing. Don't even text me. Just don't even text me.
Yeah, you're a
because I'm not
caller.
going to text back. I don't have time.
So when it comes to like interacting with people, because it sounds like everybody's examples and most people, when you think of triggers, it has to do with another person, like another human being, whether it be your child, your husband, your boyfriend, your coworker, your whomever. You know what I'm saying? So when you're interacting with humans every single day, how do you put your triggers up front on the table? Like, how do you, so that that person, because most times people don't know what your triggers are until you're triggered, and now we're having a reaction, and now we might have a little,
Right. I think
episode. But how do you be more forthcoming with what those triggers are without scaring a person off? Because like my trigger with the whole shutdown or being irritable or things like that, like those sound like very negative things, but I feel like I need to be upfront and honest about them so that when they hit you, they don't trigger you.
Understand.
And you get triggered, and now we're both triggering each other, and we're getting nowhere.
And
you know
now
what
we
I'm
in
saying?
a shootout or whatever it's called.
We are in a shoot.
A
drive-by.
Is that what it's called? We're in a drive-by. And now it's getting very ghetto.
A silent drive-by with
now
me,
it's getting very
because
ghetto.
I'm mad.
Chitty chitty bang bang out here.
Seriously.
You wouldn't even know.
I think, like, for me, my dad, and my parents just in general, but specifically my dad, has done, like, a really good job of having, like, open lines of communication. So me and my dad are, like, extremely close. And so he's, like, one of my best friends, I would call him. And so a lot of times, like, anything that happens to me or, like, something that pisses me off, like, I can call my dad. My dad, the first thing he always says is, like, do I need to wear the friend hat or do I need to wear the dad hat?
Right.
And, like, that little, like, moment for me to decide, like, what do I need in this moment is such a breath of fresh air, because sometimes I need him to put that friend hat on and take the dad hat off and just listen to this tea I have for you, because in this moment I'm upset. And when my dad transitions to have the friend hat on, he never switches back to the dad hat. Like, he will get round with me if I need him to.
I love that.
Or he'll bring it back down if I need it to. Like, Dad, so did you hear? Yeah, girl, I'm just sipping on this tea. I'm trying to figure it out.
I love it.
And then, like, if my dad, like, hasn't heard from me in a couple of days, like, he'll literally send me, like, the tea emoji with the eyes. Like, what's the tea, sis? I haven't heard from you. What's going on?
You know? I know you got some.
And it's just, like, it helps me to be overly communicative with everybody else. Like, this is how I'm feeling in this moment. And not that I need you to accept it, but I'm putting my heart on the line for you to hear me.
Yes.
And I need you, like, the things that break my heart, I kind of need them to break your heart too, so that you can understand where I'm coming from, and we can communicate how we can fix that.
And because it'll allow you not to hurt that person unintentionally.
Correct.
I think with, we've said before, if you didn't listen to the first one, if you didn't, go back to the first one and make sure that you listen to it, subscribe, and all that good jazz, like plug. But we talked about how we're in life group, and I think that's one of the most important things about our life group and our life group and our community, is that we know we are going through life together, and we are telling each other what triggers us, so that when something happens, like, for instance, this is not Gabi's thing, she's really good with money, but if she was not good with money, or if she grew up poor, or if something happened with her with money and she lost her job, I immediately know that that's going to be a trigger for her. I immediately know how to love on her. I immediately know how to come to her aid and not allow her to continue to live in her trigger, and help her pull back, on those things. So I think it's really, really important, not only that you know what your triggers are, but that you can communicate them well with the people who are around you, so that you, again, are not drive-bying your loved ones, because they don't even know sometimes. Like, you might come in guns blazing, and it's unnecessary, or like my irritation or my trigger was that my intention, the intentionality being, transferred over and communicated or whatever. That could be something that is coming into you, and you need to not be triggered. You know what I'm saying? You need to be aware of your triggers and things that will rile you up too. So I think that's super, super important.
I think transparency is big, though. If you kind of tell people, whether, regardless, just especially people that you work with, I think people that you work with, your triggers, they might see it a little bit more. And because I feel like, everybody who has a job, you kind of have to put on a little bit more of a prettier face.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And you're around those people. I mean, like, per se, like, I'm around my coworkers way more than I'm around my family. Like, I spend a majority of my time around there. So I think them and your friends, they get a lot of your triggers, especially your friends, because you call them to vent. And it's just really, like you touched on it and said, that it's mostly the people that are around you the majority of the time that get that backlash.
Yes.
So I think that when you're starting a friendship or any type of relationship, you have to be upfront and honest about it at the beginning, because you have to give those friends an opportunity to see if they want to stay and deal with your triggers. Some people may not be able to, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just the way that it is.
I think those conversations come naturally, like as the friendship or relationship develops. You know, like they're not something that you just lay out on the table. Boo, 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 boo. This is what I got for you. You know, because then people are gonna be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know, baby girl, you're doing too much. Off top, you're doing too much. So I think that naturally, like those things just come. You know what I mean? Like you just learn people. Like anybody with common sense can just understand, like, I know what Gabi's triggers are. We haven't even made a year yet. Well, we just made a year, you know?
Yes.
We just made a year of knowing each other. So, and I know what her triggers are.
So
I know what
crazy.
turns her on. I know what turns her off. I love her. And same with Avina and Tosha. So I think that you just have to, as a friend and as a person in the relationship, vice versa, like if something is triggering you and if something is taking you to another level, be okay telling that person, like, this is what this is and this is why this is, and then the other person being okay to accept those things from, you know, vice versa. So.
Yeah, and I feel like let's have like a vulnerable moment right now. So let's all take a second to think, because I want to give the
Wait a
viewers.
minute.
Get your sip. Tosh might want to sip, baby. Might want to sippy sip, baby. Because I want to give the viewers a chance to kind of know us and like how we are. Because we're not giving cliche answers, but I want to give them a little something. So think of a time when you've been in a relationship. Avina, I asked if you was going to mention this earlier in the text message thread. Think of a time where you feel like you was being petty because you were being triggered.
Hilarious.
What did you do and what was the petty action?
Hilarious.
So for me, one time, I'm having a moment, y'all, so don't judge me. This is the old Gabi. We in 2020 now. One time, I was dating a person, and
He will remain nameless.
who will remain nameless.
Okay.
Sorry.
There was a slight
Sorry. I'm having a moment. One time
shake
I was dating a person,
overcast over there.
and this person was not answering my calls or my texts when their normal behavior was to answer the calls or the texts. So I had a feeling in my stomach that something was not right, and this was like 1:00 in the morning, and I was like laying down, and the Lord said, "Get up." So
Was it the Lord? Was it the
I mean,
Lord?
you know,
I mean, okay.
I had to tell myself it was the
your
Lord.
intuition. My stomach's
No, it was
turning
my
already.
It was my intuition.
Yeah.
So
The Lord said,
had, at the time, me and this person lived in close proximity. So I had driven over to this person's house at 1:00 in the morning,
Speaking of drive-bys.
knocked on the door,
Right.
and we weren't together. We were like on a crazy transition area. Anyways, I knocked on the door. This person had another person in their home.
I thought she was about to
And
cuss right
I was triggered. Like I had instantly had an out of body experience, and I thought, I swear, Tasha, I told you the story.
I know.
Out my body.
Listen, I told you. It was like an out of body experience, and I knew that I was triggered because I knew that in that moment, like, it was about to be World War VII.
You can't control yourself when you get
Correct.
to that.
And so what
8, 9,
happened
and 10.
after that, that's really not important, but I want to let y'all know we ain't together no more.
Okay.
Take it away. A time that you were triggered in a relationship. What happened?
Think real hard.
Give them the tea.
I'm gonna say there was a time that I was in a relationship, and I'm very emotional, but on the inside of me, like I rarely cry, or like, you know, it's really hard to see what my emotions are. And so this particular relationship, we had gotten into it about something so super petty, and I'm one of those people that, like, petty arguments, I'm like, okay, you're right, you won. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm one of those people, you know, because I can't quite get my energy up there. Just to go back and forth about something either I know I didn't do or something like that. So my trigger in this scenario was that he was accusing me of something that I know for a fact, because I'm in my physical body, that I didn't do. And he was just going at me about it. And I didn't snap, but I think that was probably the closest that I got to cursing someone out, because
You had enough.
because there was nothing more I could say. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't prove to you, you know, and now I feel like I'm begging you to
believe me.
Yeah, I don't and I know I don't have to do that. So I was just so furious that I literally just had to leave the house. Like I literally stopped conversation and walked out because I just knew that either he was going to get more irate or I was going to get more irate. It was just not going to be a good situation. So I decided to take myself out of the situation and leave. But again, that goes back to my original trigger. That's how much it just irritates me when somebody
accuses you of something.
Accuses me of something that I know I didn't do, I didn't say, I didn't mean. You know what I'm saying? So especially in relationships, because you want that person to know you and believe you and know you wouldn't do something, or even like just don't think that I'm a cheater. I've never been a cheater. I've never done anything to make you suspicious or insecure. So like if I haven't given you the reason to do that, like don't do me like that, because now I feel like you're like taking a personal shot at me and my character, and that again is my number one trigger. So that's my example.
Ari?
Y'all, I am a lot of things, but I'm just not a petty person. But let me just explain why I'm not a petty person to you guys. I get embarrassed very easily, and I am not gonna never let nobody play me.
Ooh, I think
so like the things that women do, when men take us out of our body, as Gabi said, the things that I just have to take myself back. You know what I mean? And I have friends that do crazy things, and I don't fault them for it. I'm not mad at you, sis. But me, I know how embarrassed I will get if that if that person tried to play me, you know what I mean? Like, or if he tried to down what we had going on, because that's what dudes will do, and that's what people will do. Even women, they will try to make it seem like, oh, it wasn't even that serious, or oh, you overreacting, or
like, I was there.
Yeah,
we were here. We were
and you know that, and people will take you to that point, and that hurts for me. So I don't even put myself in situations. If somebody try to play me, or if somebody does something that hurts my feelings, or if I get that little feeling, I wouldn't even bring myself to that place, because I know that I wouldn't even know how to handle it. That's one way that I really can't say I'm good at protecting my peace in that way, because I can't do petty. Like, you're not gonna play me, you're not gonna not answer my phone call if I call you a million times. You're not gonna come to the door, slam the door in my face. I'm not gonna pull up on you, but dudes will do stuff like that. I'm not gonna pull up on you and you with another girl. I'm not gonna pull up on you and you with another girl, and then you try to act like, oh, you just been with that other girl, and y'all just, that's embarrassing to me. So I'm not gonna let you embarrass me. So a lot of times I fall back on petty just because I
just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I can't let you play me. I just can't.
Embarrassment is huge. Like, I get embarrassed so easily.
I don't get embarrassed.
I get embarrassed. And it don't even be really embarrassed. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. It don't be like that type of embarrassed.
It's just people will play you.
Me.
People will play you.
Don't try me.
And if it's another scenario, and this is just random, but like, say for instance, you're on the phone, or like, and you're in close proximity to your friend or something, and your significant other is like having an argument with you, and that person can hear you, this person talk to me crazy,
I don't like it.
Embarrassed. And I'm triggered, and now I'm like,
now I'm about to be on my
not
body.
only am I triggered at you and what you're saying to me, but now I'm triggered because my friend
can hear
it's almost like I'm allowing this person to kind of talk to me crazy. And that's not the case either. I'm just trying to keep my professional self as I'm around these people, you know what I'm saying, to hold it together enough for me to get home and have this private conversation. But I think that's what annoys me the most, is when people have private conversations in front of other people, and then that becomes embarrassing to me.
I mean, I will snap. Don't get me wrong. I'll snap.
It's one or the other.
I'll
you gonna
snap.
live or I'm gonna live.
So
what I choose me. Y'all, I didn't want to get into the deep of the situation. It got.
We're back,
girl. And we're back.
Going. Avina, let's.
Well, see, y'all already know me,
girl.
I want the one of the text messages. That's the one I want.
Story.
No, see, okay.
That was hilarious.
I up until I don't know, 10 months ago, I stopped. So I'm Latin first off. I snap spicy. Real easy.
Very
spicy, mama.
Very easily.
Mama,
so I'm trying to think about a story that's not going to embarrass me too much. But this, all 15 are all up there. In college, I got lied to. I don't like being. You lied to me one time. Okay, cool. You lied to me 2 times. All right. But you lied to me 3 times, and then you lied to me bluntly to my face after I already know the truth and know the answers, whatever it may be. I snap. physically, mentally, emotionally. In college, I was lied to blatantly to my face, so I slashed 3 tires, because if you slash 4, it's a felony. But if you only slash 3, you'll be all right.
Knowledge you need to know. Knowledge you need to know.
When I said I wanted her story, it was about spices. I don't know how we got to the
let me tell the story. Let me tell the story. So basically,
you can tell the other story.
Basically, there was a meme or something, and basically she said that she was dating this dude, and I don't know if he left her, or I don't know if they broke up. I don't know what happened.
First off,
but
you know that would never happen.
Well, dudes don't leave Avina, but I don't know. They broke up. Whatever happened, y'all. Avina was cooking for him, of course, because
usual. That's my first mistake. Ladies, don't cook for people that you're not married to.
Don't cook for them.
I wasted so many good meals.
So many good meals. You could have been cooking for me, sweetie. You could have been cooking for me, sweetie. I need meal prep.
I get lucky that I always get men that love how to cook. I
love
swear
it.
to
I pray for it.
I get lucky.
Y'all, long story short, Avina took all of the spices that she brought to the dude house out of the cabinet and said, let that other girl
and the
Tupperware spice up your life. Now that's a word. Let her spice up your life. You wanna? You ain't gonna have no spices. You're gonna be eating very bland. Okay? You're gonna be get one little salt and pepper. You know, dudes don't have nothing they need.
They have like seasoned salt.
Don't have nothing they need.
4 walls.
I hate when people can't cook.
Okay, well, since we've talked about a lot of crazy triggers,
I told y'all not to go with me. Like, we should skip.
Well, I'm not gonna say. Well, when I hear the word triggered, anyway, like the definition, past trauma. I mean, it automatically makes you think of something super negative.
Correct.
Like, it automatically makes you think of like
physical
altercations.
Are you gonna give us a little snippet of you singing?
Oh, I didn't even hear that. That's how silly. I just
just a little. Ari,
if you guys would like to hear Ari has a beautiful voice, and she's gonna hate that I'm even taking this moment to even say this.
We're not moving on.
Beautiful voice,
we're not moving on.
Opera, crazy. Fanatic voice, you know. She will eventually one day, but if you guys pressure her in the comments,
please,
DMs,
she sounds amazing.
All that, please get her to help us get her to just sing.
Not today,
but not today. She's not gonna do it today. She's embarrassed.
Now I'm embarrassed and I'm triggered.
She's triggered.
I'm triggered.
But yeah, no, I was just saying that like we talked about a lot of negative emotions, but I think there are some healthy triggers that we should know about for ourselves. Like I said, that are protection things that I think. Most people may not be aware of that they're actually triggers, but that they should probably like hone into, especially if it comes to a situation in a boy and girl relationship when it's not the healthiest. Knowing that triggers, the triggers for you that mean run, like, you know what I'm saying? Those are healthy triggers, or healthy triggers meaning like, okay, let me take this into consideration that I know that this is a trigger, and let me process it myself before I lash out to somebody. You know what I'm saying? So are there any ways in which you have healthy triggers, and or how do you circumvent your triggers when you have your triggers? Like, is the first reaction to slash 3 tires, or are we going to take a moment and like bring it down? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you, because you can't operate always on a 10, you know what I'm saying? And so triggers can't always take you to the max, you know what I'm saying? I think as a maturing adult, you have to learn what your triggers are. Like I said,
Tasha, I said I was in college.
And
Not she Avina feels very attacked. She feels attacked.
I didn't even say anything about her.
At least at the tires.
You have to watch her now.
That was just, you know, to show the level of.
She's grown now.
You know, that was the level of,
No, we're not. You're not going to get me there now, because if I get that for
yeah, then you gotta go.
So how do you? Okay, so how do you not take yourself there now? Like, what is
I
something
don't take myself there now by not. I don't allow those people to be around me. I have grown so much, like. Obviously, like I said, I was in college, but now I'm not going to let you get to that point. Like, I'm not going to give you the opportunity to get me to escalate that high, because honestly, I've been so like 1 or 2 red flags and I'm out. Even with friendships. Like I'm, you know, I said last time, you know, on the first episode, once you get there, that's pretty much it. So we're not even gonna get there. You can't light my flame anymore if I don't let that wick sit right there. You ain't lighting it. I'm sorry.
No, seriously. I think for me, since I genuinely do like love my friends, and when I am in a relationship, I truly do love that person. So what I'm working on in 2020 is taking this time to be still before I speak, because I know how sharp my words are, and I know how many times I talk out of turn, and I just say something just because I know it's going to hurt you how I'm hurt. So what I'm trying to do in 2020 is receiving what they said, processing what they said, not making them right or not making them wrong, but being able to effectively have the conversation and let them know that what you just said 10 seconds ago almost put you in a body bag, but I don't want to do it.
Right. I'm not pulling the trigger.
You see what I'm saying?
You're not pulling the trigger, and that's key.
It's gross.
That's key.
I don't.
I think that
there's only a split second to make that decision.
It's not good to be in that space. Like you're always on edge. You're furious.
No, for real.
You're worked up. You're overthinking everything. It's a whole bunch of I wish I would have said this, or they got me so messed up, or all these like negative thoughts. And it's like this not you. You know what I'm saying? It's like
and it's unnecessary.
You don't want to be around
like
that.
You're on 10, and it's like nothing can get accomplished acting on 10.
Yeah.
Nothing. If you really genuinely care about that person, you need to be coming at a level 2.
Correct.
So it's basically what I'm hearing y'all, what I think I'm hearing y'all say is it's basically about taking the things that trigger you, the things that are technically negative things, technically take you to a place of discomfort, and making them healthy markers for how you govern your relationships, right?
Very
so just taking those things and being able to use them as place markers in your relationships and place markers in how you deal with people, you know, instead of just letting them take you, you know, you take them and make them what you want them to be and how you want to see them out versus you letting them come into your life and take you wherever they want to go, because it's like she said,
relationships.
It's about
they're gonna destroy relationships if you get to 10 all the time. If that's how you react to your triggers every single time, you're not gonna have any friends. Nobody's gonna want to be around you. Like she said, people who just are triggered all the time or negative all the time, nobody has time for that.
Nobody.
Know? And so I think if everybody can just identify their triggers and then take a pause and just breathe a little bit before, even if you're having an active conversation with somebody, telling that person like, hey, you know what, like I hear what you're saying, but I'm unable to hear what you're saying. I have to take a moment because what you're saying to me, although it may be facts, and that's another thing, people think because just because you're telling the truth or you're saying factual information that you're not triggering me. No,
you are.
You're still triggering me. You know what I'm saying? You're still triggering me. So I need to take a moment and just being okay with saying, hey, I need a moment. Like, we need to talk about this a little later because I'm literally, and it may have nothing to do with that person. I remember having a conversation here recently and it had nothing to do with that person, but I knew in my head, Tosha, that's a you problem, you know, like that's a you problem. That's a past relationship problem. You need to come to the table. I think it was it you that said you need to come to the table with a new plate or whatever, or a clean plate. Somebody just told me that.
Clean plate.
Come to the buffet with a new plate. And so I think constantly now I'm constantly thinking like, okay, is this really something that triggers me? Why does it trigger me? Number 2, like, is it this person who's triggering me, or is it something from my past, somebody else who's getting, you know,
I feel like more times than not, it is your past.
Oh, absolutely. It's almost always.
Like,
absolutely.
I mean, that's obviously what a trigger is, but it's just kind of like if you even hear someone, like maybe somebody said something to you and they said a whole sentence to you, you know, and it hurt your heart, but you even hear part of that sentence, it kind of makes you think back like, oh my God,
you're right back at that point,
so, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it just takes you back. I think I have to do a better job with, same thing with Tosha. Like, I just have to not suppress it, but I just have to be okay with it and move on, you know?
And it's an everyday thing. Like, you're not going to, like, have your triggers down today and do a 360 tomorrow. Like, it's an everyday making a conscious decision of being aware of what your triggers are, being able to inform whoever you're having a conversation with, and allowing that person to receive what you're saying and give them a chance to get in the habit of trying to fix it. Even though you told them today, they're not going to fix that today. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to take take a couple of times to remind them, because we need reminders, you know? We're going to be triggered for the rest of our life with all types of things. But you need to be okay with repeating yourself and giving that person a chance to make the adjustment changes.
Yeah, I like that.
We're not perfect.
I think that's awesome that you said that. Allow the other person to make that
we're
adjustment.
Not perfect. And triggers are going to be here for forever. I just listed one, but I'm sure I have 50.
I'm sure I got 100.
As
like,
women,
petty
we
things.
have lots of things.
I'm sure I got 200. I'm sure I got.
You know, it's like, and it doesn't just come down to relationships. It just comes down to interactions with humans. Things just annoy you. The way they talk, the way they look, the way they hold their mouth, the way they hold their hands.
The way they eat.
It's just the way that people
Stop
are.
breathing.
So
judgment.
It's almost
judgment.
it's like it's judgment.
Trigger.
It's like
don't be
tone of voice is another trigger for
Oh my
me.
gosh,
Tone of voice, like don't. my parents don't talk to me like that. Lower your voice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
when I was like, back in my spicy days, I'm not spicy anymore. Back in my spicy days, I used to be like, excuse me, where's your name on my birth certificate? Because you talking real
especially
crazy.
you having the relationship that you have with your dad. Like, your dad don't talk to you like that. So, like, I'm not going to allow.
Same with me, too. My mom has never, when I tell y'all, first of all, my mom does not curse. Shout out to my mom. She's, like, perfect. Yeah. But my mom does not curse. My mom has never cursed at me in a conversation, just like talking. And my mom has been livid at me. I mean, I'm me, and I'm her child. I'm her daughter. So I'm sure I push her to her tippy top limits. But she has never cursed at me. So when people curse at me, that's another trigger. I'm like, whoa. The person that birthed me, the person that just know, like, you're not going to do that.
Because, I'm going to shut down because I don't know what you're saying to me right now, but the octave is way too high. So when you
I can't even hear you. I can't even hear you.
Bring it down. And that's what I'm saying about people who say, like, oh, but I'm telling the truth. I'm saying factual information. I'm giving you feedback.
I can't receive it.
I don't care. I'm triggered, and at my triggered state, I hear nothing that you're saying. So, I mean, I hope that you guys can kind of see just with this dynamic here, with these ladies, my lovely press ladies, that triggers happen.
They do.
Yeah. And that you can grow from triggers.
You can.
And triggers can be addressed in a healthy way. And I think that that's part of the reason why we want to bring it up, because it's not about just being rah, I'm triggered and I want to do and I want to say. And
self-reflection.
It's not that. It's really, this whole podcast is about growing. You know what I'm saying? It's all about communication, growing, connecting with other individuals.
Absolutely.
And a part of connecting is communicating and knowing other people's triggers and things like that. So I just hope that you guys can,
relate.
Relate.
And also give us feedback. If all the stuff that you've heard us, and if you guys can give us any feedback how to handle our triggers, if you guys feel comfortable enough telling us what your triggers are, we would love to hear them.
Correct.
We would love to give you feedback if we can, or hear your feedbacks how to handle our triggers. We're not perfect. We want to make this an interactive things, and we want to make sure that we are having those conversations, because triggers happen. So what is it what gets you pissed off? Because it could be the same.
And too, you have to, at some point you can't always point the fingers.
You can't.
At some point you have to be able to kind of sit back, look in the mirror, and reflect, meditate, and just be like, okay,
it's me.
Some of these things, it's me. Some of these things may trigger me, and some of these things may get me hot. But at the end of the day, if I allow my time and my energy to that person or that particular situation, I have to hone in on that, and I have to be able to adjust, because guess what? Those are always going to come. I have to really be able to fix that as much as I can personally. But that's just, it can't always be everybody. It has to be
you have to be able to let those things elevate you. So let y'all's triggers elevate you.
Yes.
Don't let them break you.
Again, like Gabi said, please give us y'all feedback. We want questions. We want topics. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button if you're watching this on YouTube, so that you can see when our episodes come out, as well as go subscribe and all that stuff on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, because that only increases the number of people who get to know who we are, as well as connect with us, any brands, things like that, other influencers, business people. If y'all just want to, be a guest on the show, I think we said that before.
We are taking guests.
Yeah.
We love the people that we are in contact with, the people that we are meeting during this process. So please just continue to stay tuned and give us feedback and questions and all of that good stuff. Do you guys have anything else y'all want to add?
Yes. So the only thing I want to do is I'm pretty sure you guys can see my hat has a little kangaroo. So half of me is in Australia right now. A piece of me, my sister Z. Shout out to her.
Shout out to Z.
Come back.
Love her.
Yes, come back, because I need to meet you.
Yeah, she love Z. She's the best. Yeah. She's like one of the best, most human, literally the most human you could possibly be. And I know that sounds weird, but she is her own person. She runs to the beat of her own drums.
Definitely look up to her, So as most of you guys probably know, if you don't know, there's been a lot of devastating fires in Australia. And we Press the Podcast, we just kind of want to share with you guys, our new viewers and listeners, on how you can help from this side of the world. There's 2 websites. The first website is WIRES, and that's WIRES.org.au. And that website, you can send donations, and that helps out the wildlife in Australia. The second website is salvationarmy.org.au. And that is obviously, it just helps everybody that was impacted by the fires. There was approximately 12 million acres that have already burned, and If you don't know, Australia is almost the same size as America, so that is a lot. Like, imagine California, like, on times 10. That's how bad it was. But again, we'll go ahead and tag both of those websites. We just wanted to give a good shout out to them. You know,
we're definitely praying.
Always.
Praying.
Always.
Because it could be us.
Yeah.
It could always
want
be
someone
us.
to come to our aid and help us as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah,
I think that's it. Thank y'all for tuning
Thank you guys
in.
for coming.
Yes.
Well, that concludes. Peace out.
See y'all next time.
Press, 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 press.